Okay, welcome back, and video number 5. As I said, this one is going to be all about vibrato. The whole point of this course is to give you some takeaway tasks that you can do. Very simple, very easy to fit into your every day. Everyone's busy, I get that, but if you can just try these little tips every single day, by the end of the week you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. So moving on from last video that we did, so video number 4, we were looking at bending, and in this video number 5 we're going to be looking at vibrato. The two go quite nicely together, but we'll try and master the vibrato first, and then we'll try and put them together as a bit of a sort of a hybrid. So vibrato, what is vibrato? Well, there's two main types of vibrato. One of them sort of more of a classical approach to vibrato, which is like a side-to-side approach, and one of them is more like a rock and blues approach to vibrato, which is more sort of like the common side of one. And I will show you both. So we're just going to pick a random note again. It doesn't really matter where we go for. Somewhere in the middle of the neck again, so it's not too difficult. Let's just go for fret number 7 on the B string. Why not? So fret number 7. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a classical one first of all and show you that approach, and then I will do the more rock and pop blues and the bluesy one. So third finger, it's going to be on the 7th fret of the B string. And what we're going to do, thumbs on the back of the neck here, and we're just going to wobble the hand, okay, and wobble the wrist, and just manipulate that note. Now what's really important is that finger stays in the right position. The finger doesn't move on the fret backwards and forwards. It needs to stay right up close to the fret wire to get really clear notes, okay? So let's just have a listen. So very simple technique, very subtly interesting, okay? It's a bit like a vocalist. When a vocalist will sing, a vocalist will add that really lovely sort of quality to their voice when they sing, and that's called vibrato. So when they add that sort of wobble to their note, that is what they're doing, and we can replicate that on the guitar by wobbling the wrist and wobbling the hand, okay? But the finger must lock in place, and then it's a side-to-side wobble. So hopefully that's coming across nice and clearly, but there's a slight sort of wobble to the note, and you can do it fast, you can do it medium, you can do it really slow if you want, depending on the track you're playing against. So it's worth trying some different speeds, so like, and then medium, so, and then fast. It's worth trying, okay? So it's all to do with the wrist and all to do with this arm here, and we're sort of moving it, different speeds to accommodate, what you're after, the sound and the tone you're after. So that's the classical one, okay? So that's more sort of the classical one. This one, the next one I'm going to show you now, is going to be the more rock and pop one, and the sort of the bluesy one as well. So let's just stick with the same note because that's a good note. So 7 on the B string. What we're going to do now is, instead of going side to side, we're going to move the note up and down. A bit like a mini bend, okay? So it's going to sound like this. Now with this style of bend, we can be a bit more frantic, we can be a bit quicker if we want to. So when we do some of those really rocky sort of notes, so we can really get control of that. Now that is a really important word. Control on this is so important. Otherwise it could just sound like, it can sound horrible, it can sound really bad. I don't want to put you off, but it's just one of those things when you're practicing these techniques. I definitely recommend you pop some headphones on so you're not annoying your partner, your wife, whoever it may be, listening in the background. It's it's one of those things you just got to spend some time, some fine attention, but it will make you a much better guitarist from looking at these areas if you're playing. So fret 7 on the B string, we're going to wobble that note, okay? So it's all with the wrist again, lock the fingers in place. And then we're going to move the wrist, okay? So all with the wrist, the fingers are locked in place. And again, we can do it slow, very subtle, in the middle, and then fast. Okay? What's really important is you want to imagine you're sort of getting up to a pitch, okay? And then you wobble backwards and forwards. We don't want to be erratic with our wobble, we want to keep it nice and consistent, okay? The speed we do that, it doesn't matter, it depends on the piece we're playing and how we want it to sound. But what does matter is sort of the depth of the waves that we do, like this. So you can imagine we could be really sort of like steep like this, or we can be really subtle like that, okay? So it's just worth practicing that and just seeing if you can get control. It's all about control, as I said. Just be really confident and just get really good control. It should feel right, if that makes sense. It should feel right. When you get it right, it should feel correct. Now, it may seem a bit strange for me to say that, but you'll know what I mean. If you get this right, if you get this correct, this technique, you'll be like, okay, that makes sense what he said now, okay? So that is vibrato. Now to apply this to a bend is what we looked at in the last lesson. We looked at the bends. So we're going to go to fret number 7 again. We'll stick with fret number 7. What I should say about these exercises as well, it doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter when you're working on techniques. It doesn't matter if you've got this really fancy exercise, it really doesn't matter. It just matters that you're getting really good technique and then you're really focusing in on different areas of the guitar. So for me, it'd be important for us to do it down on the low end of the guitar, in the middle part of the guitar, and at the high end of the guitar up here. So maybe we'll move notes a minute, just to give you an idea of how this is going to work. So I'm going to go up to fret number 15 now on the high E string. You can join me up here. And then I'm going to bend. I'm going to do a full bend, if you remember from last lesson. That's 2 frets higher. So fret 15, play fret 17. I'm going to bend to that pitch. Now that's just a bend without the vibrato. What I'm going to do now is add the vibrato to the bend. So here we go. It just adds that real vocal quality to the sound, and it just makes the guitar sing. I'm on a very clean sound at the moment, but if I had a very overdriven sound, you'll get more sustain, and just you can really manipulate that note, really milk that note for all it's worth. Okay, so. Such a lovely technique. It's one of my favourite, okay? And it's how you can identify different guitarists. They all have a unique style of vibrato. There's only a couple, there's different few styles of vibrato. Worth checking out a couple of different vibrato styles. Greg Howe is a great one to check out. If you check out his vibrato style, it's very unique. He does a very fast wobble backwards and forwards. So here we go. Like really fast, sort of sideways, more like a slide, but very, very quick, that we could sort of class it as vibrato. That's a good one to check out, that's more advanced. But for now, just get the basic techniques down. Once you've got that foundation down, you can then look ahead at some of the more advanced techniques. I'll see you in video 6. Thanks, guys.